Shalom, 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 shalom. Let me say it one more time for those who didn't hear it. Shalom, welcome. Y'all know what this is. We ain't got to get into no long drawn out introductions tonight. Welcome to Factz Ova Feelingz. Tonight we got some things we got to get right into. We got to get right to the business. So I want you to come in, and before you get started, remember this is brought to you by the Most High. That means that it's brought to you by the Creator. That means that it's brought to you by the very one that allowed you to wake up this morning and find yourself sitting right here. It's time to get down to serious business. We need to handle some kingdom business real quick. Before we get started, I want to send out an advisory to all of those who might have gotten confused, to all of those who might have forgotten what the whole purpose of us being here is. I just need to remind you real quick that if you, and this is not to offend anybody, this is a pro-black page. Doesn't mean that we hate you. We just love us. There's nothing wrong with loving on ourselves just for a little while. So if you don't mind, if you could back up and give us a little bit of room, we'll be okay. We just want to love on ourselves for a minute. Y'all know I've been having a secret love affair. My side piece has been the black race, but I'm willing to share her with anybody that wants to get a piece of the action. Anybody that wants to fall back in love with black people. You want to fall back in love with yourself, fall back in love with your kind, then let's do that right now, because that's what we got to do before we can move forward. No matter what I say in the next hour, it won't hit you unless you are in love with your own kind. If you hate your kind, if you got an attitude with your kind, if you ain't speaking to your kind, if you holding a grudge against your kind, then you can't be in this relationship. This is an unconditional relationship. I don't care how much y'all stab me in the back, I'm still gonna love you. I don't care how much you might lift me to the high heavens and then crucify me on Friday. I'm still gonna love you. It doesn't make a difference what you do. My love is unconditional, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, because I'm not in love with you because of the things you do. I'm in love with you simply because you are who you are. I'm in love with you because when I see your melanated skin, when I see the concentration on your face, when I see that we ain't taking it no more because we built stronger than that, I fall in love all over again. Anybody who's been in a long-term relationship knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes you can't stand their guts. Other times they cool to be all right to be around. But then every now and then you go through a season where you fall in love with them all over again. And everything is fly with them. And all of a sudden you're feeling them. And they don't know what the hell they did, because they just being they self. And y'all just being yourself. And won't nobody come along. Everybody's so ready to hate you. Everybody's so ready to criticize you. Everybody's so willing to shortchange what you do. Everybody wants you to do twice more than the other man. And we find out that we need a place where we can just get together and just love on each other. I'm going to quote from some white folks because the white folks need to hear this. I'm reading a book, in case you can't see the title. The name of the title is Why I'm No Longer Talking About Race. It's funny because that's not really what it says. If you can kind of look, the words are embossed right here. It says, why I'm no longer talking to white people about race. That's interesting. Why would he say that? Why would someone say I'm no longer talking to white people about race? That's why when we come here, this is for us. If you want to slide up in here, don't worry, the moderators will capture your name and we'll deal with you later. But right now, y'all, we got to have some space to ourselves. So if I can quote, y'all don't mind if a brother shows you that after all the people who got hung, shot, stabbed, and burned for reading, that if y'all don't mind if I read a little bit in the 21st century, y'all don't mind. It says right here in the book, it says, I'm no longer engaging with white people on the topic of race. Not all white people. Just the vast majority who refuse to accept the legitimacy of structural racism and its symptoms. I can no longer engage with the gulf of an emotional disconnect that white people display when a person of color articulates their experience. You can see their eyes shut down and harden. It's like a treacle. A treacle is poured into their ears. It's blocking up their ear canals. It's like they can no longer hear us. And this emotional disconnect is the conclusion of living a lie, oblivious to the fact that their skin color is the norm and all others deviate from it. At best, whites have been taught not to mention that people of color are different in case it offends us. And they truly believe that the experiences of their life as a result of their skin color can and should be universal. I just can't engage with the bewilderment and the defensiveness as they try to grapple with the fact that not everyone experiences the world in the way that they do. They never had no think about what it means in power terms to be white. So anytime they're vaguely reminded of this fact, they interpret it as an affront, as an attack. Their eyes glaze over in boredom, or they widen in indignation. Their mouths start twitching as they get defensive. Their throats open up as they try to interrupt, itching to talk over you, but not really listening because they need to let you know that you've got it all wrong. You see, the journey towards understanding structural racism still requires people of color to prioritize white feelings. Even if they can hear you, they're not really listening. It's like something happens to the words as they leave our mouths and reaches their ears. The words hit a barrier of denial and they don't get any further. And that, my friends, is the emotional disconnect. It's not really surprising because they've never known what it means to embrace a person of color as a true equal with thoughts and feelings that are as valid as their own. Watching The Color of Fear by Lee Mu-wah, I saw people of color break down in tears as they struggled to convince a defiant white man that his words were enforcing and perpetuating a white racist standard on them. All the while, he stared obliviously, completely confused by this pain, at best trivializing it, and at worst, ridiculing it. I can no longer have this conversation because we're often coming at it from completely different places. I can't have a conversation with them about the details of a problem if they don't even recognize that the problem exists. Let me say that again. He says, I can't have a conversation with them about the details of a problem if they don't even recognize that the problem exists. What do you mean racism still exists? It does not. This is a great country. We ain't trying to hear that because we know what we're dealing with. Big shout out to all the folks in Louisville. See you soon. It goes on to say, not to mention that entering into conversation with defiant white people is a frankly dangerous risk for us. As the heckles rise and the defiance grows, I've had to tread incredibly carefully because if I express frustration or anger or exasperation at their refusal to understand, they will tap into their pre-subscribed racist tropes about angry black people who are a threat to them and their safety. Well, what hath we here? Soon as we got organized to address some of the threats that were made against us, soon as we organized ourselves to demand some justice for a black sister that was killed, as soon as we did that, all of a sudden, here they come. It's the angry black people who are threatening to hurt us. No, we are the response to what you did to us. Don't try to criticize the response unless you take into account what you did to set it in motion. It's kind of like what my man said, I'm a conservative, abusive, understanding individual. So-and-so got the shit choked out of them. Well, what did they do? Things don't happen in a vacuum. So white people need to stop acting like things happen in a vacuum and then have the nerve to get indignant and want to try to make us look like the bad guy when all we're doing is responding to what you're doing to us. If I get a can of gasoline and set your ass on fire, someone is going to ask me, what did you do to make me go down to the gas station? Here come the comedy. Make sure I get some premium because I want to make sure this shit go up. I want you to feel it. Light your ass on fire and everybody will say, oh, it's a shame he set him on fire. No, stop. What did he do? Nothing happens in a vacuum. I'm not talking about you crazy people that just do shit out the blue to people who don't deserve it. I'm talking about for every action, there's an equally strong reaction. You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. That's a fact of life. So white folks, I'm reading you this excerpt out of I'm no longer talking about race. I'm no longer talking to white folks that act like that. I'm not talking to y'all no more. We done with that. Because y'all want to act like no matter what we say, it's our problem and it's up for us. Well, what are you going to do to fix racism? Damn it, I didn't invent it. Well, what are you going to do to stop black on black crime? How about you going to help me alleviate the financial conditions that create poverty that cause crime to be a rise in my neighborhoods? Then once you do that and you decide to redistribute some of the money and give us some of the land back that you owe us, then I can start to get my neighborhoods under control, because then I can put businesses, activities for the kids. I can do all kinds of things. Then I can put in my own police department. See, you got to start helping me first. Don't tell me to pick myself up by my bootstraps when all you giving me is flip-flops. Y'all got my peoples messed up. You know our clock is short. Everybody knows the clock is short. And while we at it, where are all those Klan robes? Sorry, y'all, I had to let that out. Now, since we're not in the position to abolish the U.S. government right now, since we cannot reestablish a new unified coalition court, since there's no future right now of a redistribution of the land, since they won't tell us where they stashed the gold, and since they still have not abolished the fiat American dollar, we have to go back and rethink, how do we approach still getting free in time before the gate closed? Yes, that's right. When I say get free, people get that crazy ass look on their face like, there he go with that stuff again. But you know what? I had to really take a step back, people. And I had to ask myself, is it really so far-fetched for there to be a great migration, a great African-American migration? Well, the funny part about that is it already happened. The Great Migration, which is sometimes known as the Great Northward Migration of the Black Migration, was a movement of 6 million African Americans out of rural southern United States to the urban Northeast, Midwest, and the West that occurred between 1916 and 1970. We've already moved before. How do you think your family got where it is? They didn't just, one day, my uncle and them just, no, everybody got out soon as they could. Everybody didn't stay. Everybody was wills, nails, we's free against we just stays here. No, some people like, man, put that shit in the truck. We out. How far we go? As far as we can go. They called it the Great Black Migration. Now, when you stop and think about the fact that there was 4 million slaves that were released from slavery, 4 million. So how did 6 million go north? Because that meant that not only did the people who used to be slaves get missing, all the freedmen that were still having to deal with Jim Crow, they got the hell on too. You understand what I'm saying? So if all y'all could pick up and leave that situation to go north, why is it so far-fetched to think that we can't pick up, those of us that want to roll and go that way, to get completely from under the bullshit? Do y'all get that? I don't know why people are having such a hard time. And then you got the people. Let me show you. I hate to say this, but I got to use this example. You see, like Malcolm said, the house nigga would fight twice as hard to put the fire out if the master's house was on fire. Because he's thinking, what a nice house we's got, master. Ooh, master, look at, let's say, in our house, master. That's what they thought back then. Now think about this. All of you Negropeans that are sitting there saying, well, there's no need for us to leave. This is ours right here. This is a great house we've got. I'm not going anywhere. We helped build this house for master. But you sitting there sounding just like we was when we was trying to get up off the plantation and have the Great Migration between 1916 and 1970. We's got a good house. No, we ain't got shit. Let's just be honest. We are well-paying tenants in someone else's land. Me, and whether it used to be ours, there's a lot of women I used to date. I can't walk up to nobody, I used to date her, bro. The real talk, bro. I mean, I just feel the connection. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know y'all dating. I ain't going nowhere, bro. I used to date her, bro. You know what I'm saying? She wouldn't be the woman she was if it wasn't for me, bro. Now, y'all all right? Time to go. So don't act like it has never happened before. Do your research. Go and look up the Great Migration, the Great Black Migration. And ask your mother, ask your family, why y'all live where y'all live. Why your grandmama from South Carolina, you living way the hell up in Utah some damn where. Think about it. Think about it. So don't act like this has never been done before. Okay? I just want to put that out there. Don't anybody get mad. Don't anybody get bent out of shape. Now, I want to switch gears for a second before I start talking about some other stuff. And I got to dig into something real quick because there's a whole lot of misinformation that's floating around. And me, one of the things on that we do here on Factz Ova Feelingz. We get to the nitty gritty of what's really going on and what happened. So let's take a step back. And before we do this, before we even get started, see, there's an old saying, be careful when you criticize somebody else, because it can come back on you in the worst way. Where there's one finger pointing, there's three pointed at you. That's why I don't do that. Y'all have learned that's a law of the universe. But in the meantime and in between time, I want to deal with something that's completely, now this is where y'all just got to go with me. This is you understanding some things. We're going to talk a little bit about chemistry. I'm going to lose you a little bit because some of y'all minds don't be with me, but stay with me. We're going to go there. I got to teach you. I got to give you some information. Okay, so by now everybody has seen the videos of the explosion that happened in Beirut. It was a massive explosion at the port. Everybody got it on film because we catch everything. You can see the shock wave just totally obliterated most of the city. Somebody even went so far as to edit the video to show you that right before the explosion, something flies in. People are like, oh, they started the conspiracy stuff all over. Here we go. Somebody nuked Beirut. No. We're going to stop that. We got to shut that down. Then somebody who had too much time on their hands, and y'all seen it, they went out and they made a meme. And in the meme, they got like 6 pictures, and all of them look like the Beirut explosion. All of this happened in 24 hours. Y'all not paying attention. The truth of the matter is, if you don't do research, you actually believe some crazy shit like that. And I'm showing you how you have to always do your research so you don't look silly like everybody else. Now, there are some people who really don't know, so they be like, hey, bro, if you know, let me know. But if you see this meme and you go and research all of these, they all happened at different times in different places, and they're not all the same thing. Fires happen all the time. Shit blows up all the time. But when it blows up in the middle of a metropolitan city, you're right. We got to ask some questions. Now, here come the click. I keep telling y'all, you got to know your history. If you don't know your history, anybody can tell you anything and your ass will sit there and believe it. So before I go any further, I want to say 2 words to you. Ammonium nitrate. Don't act like you don't know what ammonium nitrate is. You probably got some in your goddamn garage. Because you know what it's used for? It's fertilizer. If you ever had to like plant grass, you had to seed the grass, or if you had to get, let's say you was put down some sod, or you was out planting, it's fertilizer. It comes in little white pellets. Now, and I'm not saying I did this, but I'm just saying, if somebody was to piss me off bad enough, I wouldn't have to go too far. I just go into my garage, get me some of that sodium, ammonium nitrate, go down to the little store in the corner, get me some fuel oil, put them jokers together, go around the corner to whoever I got the problem with, put the joint on the door, put a little lighter on it or something, light it, and get the hell on. Now, what's going to happen is that when the oil ignites, you see, ammonium nitrate don't burn by itself. It needs something to get it going. That's the purpose of the oil. When the oil burns, oh my God, ammonium nitrate is like compressed oxygen, pure oxygen. So instead of you getting just a boom, well, let's just say when they come knocking on my door, I better have a damn good alibi, because that right there, that's fed time with triple digits, Mr. Johnson. You know you did this shit. You got oil all over your hands. You got white pellets. You did this shit. So 936 years. Because that creates a very powerful bomb. That's why. So you can imagine. I'm just talking about what you might have in a cup. But imagine what they had. They had over 2,700 tons of ammonium nitrate stored in a warehouse that wasn't being maintained too cool. You know what I'm saying? Won't nobody really, it been there for 6 years. Just sitting there, waiting for something to come along and give it the spark that it needed. And as you can see, if you see the video, there was a fire. There was a whole nother fire going that had nothing. The nitrate was sitting there like, y'all gonna let this shit burn. Get a little closer, get a little too close to me. I told y'all I don't play that shit, and blew the fuck up. And when it did, it took out, the shockwave destroyed the whole fucking city, killed all of these people, completely obliterated everything, a whole 100-foot crater in the ground, just ridiculous. And everybody came up with every reason in the world to act like this was such a terrible thing. And it was a terrible tragedy for the folks that were affected. But you would be surprised how often that happens. And how often it has happened right here in the United States. I'm not laughing, because you got to think about it. How can you be living next door to some shit like that and you don't know it? There should be like a pamphlet to go out once a month. Yo, just want to let you know, the shit we got over here, if it goes, it's a wrap. Do you have it's a wrap insurance? So they stored this stuff. As a matter of fact, the real, this is kind of like karma. What happened was the Lebanese government actually impounded this ship. They captured this ship on the high seas and they just kept it. This was a show of force. We got your ship. What you going to do about it? They done got the ship. Nobody wanted to fight over the ship. So they just kept the ship and they kept it and they forgot. Now, everybody and their mama was warning them about this ship. Yo, man, what about this stuff over here? And they say if they went on for like 6 years, they was telling people, yo, man, what about this ship? And y'all already know what can go wrong will go wrong and normally does. And it ignited. And when it goes all at once. That's what makes it so powerful. It don't burn a little bit, but it needs something to get it going. So now they done locked up just about every damn body that worked there. That I'm like, okay, here's what I got. Here's my question. I'm sorry, I got to ask this. That's why I brought this up. Okay, it was a terrible accident. I got that. And it blew up. I got that. And it tore up everything. I got that. Who are these 16 motherfuckers that survived? How? There's people that got killed that was half a mile away. Where were y'all at? Because if y'all was in some kind of a safe room or something, that meant y'all knew this shit was about to go down. That meant somebody walked out there. Oh no. Ran in there. Yo, shut the door. It's over. Open the door. Ain't nothing left. How we going to explain this? I don't know. But like the police do, I quit. That's what the police doing. Y'all heard yesterday, 30 police officers in Louisville quit. They rather quit. They said, oh, it was declining morale, low support from the mayor. That's what they said. That's why they quit. That's what they said. I find it ironic that they all quit when the FBI has started investigating the Breonna Taylor murder in detail. Like they're not just stopping with the story that came in the report. Yes, the attorney general is still doing his job, but the FBI is doing their own job. Okay? Whereas they may only look at a few. They looking at everything in there. People are quitting because they know once they become a private citizen, you can't do nothing to them without going through a whole lot of legal loopholes. Plus, y'all heard today that the attorney general in New York decided to file a lawsuit to have the NRA disbanded. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I have been asked on every interview what is my opinion or what is the NFAC position on the NRA. And I'm so glad I said what I said. I said we don't play politics. We're not here to lobby anybody to do anything. We're just here to protect our people, police our neighborhoods, try to help our folks. That's what we're here for. We're not here for all. We don't have a position on these folks because they're political lobbyists and they go and they fight the laws that they want. They're quiet on some things, but they're real vocal on things that matter to them. They haven't said a word about the NFAC and our right to bear arms that we're doing constitutionally. They ain't said a word about that. And you know what? While I'm on that, let me go ahead and jump on this while y'all keep throwing stuff over the wall at me. Y'all stop asking us to do things outside of the law that we're not prepared for the repercussions for. The NFAC is not big enough right now to say fuck gun laws and go walking into a state where they say you can't carry and we're going to carry anyway and get into a goddamn war and lose everything. So you know, you do nothing, motherfuckers can sit back talking about, see, I told you they wasn't about nothing. No way. Stop asking us to do stuff. What are you going to do? Stop telling me about the people that killed your brother. What did you do about when your brother got there? Stop telling me about this lady over here need help. What are you doing to help her? Are you busy fighting another crime right now? Is that what you're doing? Because you seem to misunderstand that we're just one small part of the population trying to inspire the rest of the population to emulate that model so that we become one large organization. We're trying to spark you just like they sparked that explosion that happened in Beirut. All of you all are the ammonium nitrate and we are the oil, trying to get y'all all to strap up, get you all to put on black, get you all to step out your house and open carry and protect your neighborhoods, get you all. We're trying to blow up just like that. Matter of fact, that's our example right there. Can I teach for a second that when the ammonium nitrate, which had been sitting there for 6 years, has sat there long enough until something came along and sparked the black folks, and then the black folks all at once all went up at the same time and everybody was doing the same thing, and we shut everything down, because what happened in Beirut is a prime example of what exactly needs to happen with black people all around this planet. People ask me all the time about my dream. Y'all remember what my dream was. I told y'all my dream a couple of shows back. I'm having to cover some things, but before I do that, let's get back into this ammonium nitrate. See, the very first, and there's been some bigger ones than this. Oh, yes, there have. The very first one that's recorded in history happened right here in the United States. It happened in Gibbstown, New Jersey. It was back in 1916. They had about 1.81 tons of this stuff. It was an evaporating pan. It was called the DuPont Works. They had 4,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate. It exploded because it was clogged in an air lance, and that led to the stuff getting wet, and then it sparked. And before you know it, well, one man got killed and 12 people got injured. That same year over in the UK, they had what was called the Great Explosion. That happened on April the 2nd, 1916. It was a factory in England that exploded after they had a fire, and the fire got to 25 tons of this stuff, and 25 tons of TNT and 700 tons of ammonium nitrate. I'm sorry, who put these together? Why do you have 25 tons of TNT sitting right next to them? Come on, y'all. And then y'all call us stupid. That was stupid. That blast, they say that it killed 115 people, and it shattered windows all across the river and every part all the way over into Norwich. That shit fucked shit up. I'm sorry. That's exactly what it did. But that was them. They're still the same folks. Then meanwhile, back in the States, later on that year, they had a place called the Aetna Chemical Company. They had 3,000 pounds and it blew up. They said you could feel the shock wave for 7 miles. They killed 6 people. We ain't done. 1921 happened again. This time they had 30 tons, blew up. 1921, they had a BASF plant explosion over in Germany. 450 tons, blew up. 561 people got killed. Back in New Jersey, 2 tons, blew up. 20 people gone. It just keeps happening. You can go all the way through history. Matter of fact, you can get more recent. You ain't got to go. How many of y'all remember back in 2015 when the place blew up in China? Remember it blew up, then it blew up, then it really blew up. Remember the video? They had 800 tons. So the bottom line is they got this fertilizer everywhere in great amounts stored. It's not a problem. It doesn't blow up by itself. It could be right around your house. Check out what they're storing in these warehouses around you. It's when a fire starts. See, if I worked around something like that and I knew what was in there and a fire started and they couldn't bruh, y'all can call me a coward all you want. I would be a coward all the way on the other side of town watching the mushroom cloud go up because I know what's in there. Okay? If you know for a fact what's in there, don't come on, say something. Don't be like, hey, man, y'all just built these houses over here. They got kids out here playing. Y'all ain't told these parents what's out here. Don't do that. Don't be like that. Don't do that to people because that shows that you care more about profit than you do about people's lives. But then again, nobody seem to care about that these days. So that's what happened in Beirut. It wasn't a missile. It wasn't sabotage. It wasn't no shit like that. It was the fact that they had all of this ammonium nitrate sitting and a fire started and the fire got to it and the shit blew up. And that's how powerful it is. Old school, but it works. Old school, but it works. Excuse me. I want to send a big shout out to the African Union. I have to say that my conversations with the African Union are going very well. I want to send a big shout out to them and all of the different parts of the African Union that they're focusing on, from their peace and security to the political affairs, to the infrastructure and energy, their social affairs programs, the trade and industry programs, and also the women's gender development programs that I'm involved in. Having my ear close to the wheel, folks, on all of those as we begin this international conversation. Y'all thought we was playing. Y'all gonna look up, we're going to be gone. It's gonna be time for you to go, and you're not gonna be ready. But I have to salute them also because of the fact that they are recognizing our mission and our stated goals. So all of the different components that form the union. Again, I salute you. To the leaders of the countries of Zimbabwe, I look forward to a dialogue with you. And then, of course, to the folks here in the United States. I salute all the members of the NFAC, all of you all involved in the African Commodity Strategy, the African Continental Free Trade Area, the African Passport and Free Movement of the People's Program, and the African Air Transport Market investigations that we have going on. I told you all before that having the master plan in place opened the doors for us to have the conversations prior to the declaration of becoming a liberated nation. Some of you all cannot believe this is happening. Some of you all are still sitting here being ridiculed. Some of you all are still sitting here not realizing that we're building the ark and you are running around doing everything except getting ready to go. Anyway, I want to move on from that, and now I want to talk real quick about something that was floating around in the media, and I'm starting to see a different tone in the media these days, because they're beginning to realize that y'all are serious about what y'all are doing. They can realize that it's not just because gun sales are up. It's not just because we're seeing more neighborhoods patrolling themselves. It's not because we're seeing sisters and brothers trying to come together, looking out for each other. It's not because of any of those things. It's all of those things that they're seeing. So they're kind of, wait a minute, hold on, don't underestimate anyone. So they're kind of taking a step back and they're watching some things. So one of the things I saw, hold on a second, y'all know I got to stay hydrated. If you're not drinking hydrated water, well, you're behind the power curve. Hold up. Thank you. Now, I keep hearing people say, and I saw this, and I hope my folks here can relate to what I'm about to say. If you are a student of Factz Ova Feelingz, if you are one of the folks that can actually write Divide with me, the first book of Enoch with Yahweh's name restored, if you have your text with you, then you know that we denounce certain things, because that's not what's written. It's what was rewritten by the Council on Laodicea and by Emperor Constantine, who changed our religious texts. We know for a fact that when we're dealing with certain individuals, that those individuals may not always be what they appear to be. They can be called evil spirits upon the earth, because their dwelling shall be upon the earth and inside the earth. And somewhere around chapter 15 verse 9, it says, evil spirits have come out of their bodies, because from the day that they were created from the Kodesh ones, they became the watchers, if you know what I'm talking about. And their first origin is the spiritual foundation. They will become evil upon the earth and shall be called evil spirits. In other words, what was begat from the union between the watchers and the fallen, which become the Nephilim, then when they die, become evil spirits. So they're looking for a home. Should you be in a weakened state within your spiritual sense, they will try to occupy you, or they will ride along with you. Oh, there's an evil spirit in the room. They're not just some random spirit that came floating along. They had to come from somewhere too. And since their souls are eternal, your soul is eternal. It can never be destroyed. It can only leave this body to move to another existence. How you move is dependent on the lesson you learn in this go round. Remember, we taught on that your soul manifests itself into its true shape based on what you've done in this classroom. You do ugly things, the final manifestation of your soul is something grotesque. If you've done beautiful things, if you have a pure heart, if you're one of the righteous, if you're one of the chosen, if you're one of the elect, then when you manifest yourself, you will manifest something beautiful. But the soul cannot be destroyed. So the same thing with the Nephilim offspring cannot be destroyed, but they can never leave here. He has said that you will never ascend again, so you will stay here. That means that all of us that are here for the development of our soul, we got these yo-yos in the classroom with us, just there to just raise hell, to make sure you don't graduate, to keep on tempting you, to keep on torturing you, to keep on turning you against each other, to keep on making you murder people, to keep on making you hearing voices, just to keep you from doing anything but what you're supposed to be doing to get you up out of here. Even when the instructions are written down for you, what you're supposed to do when the clock says so. 400 years. I gave you 400 years. And now we're at 401. And y'all acting like y'all are not ready to go nowhere yet. Y'all too busy. Let me tell you what the half y'all problem is. I'm sorry, I got to say, I don't mean to get on y'all like this, but half y'all problem is you can't get past the messenger. The other half of you is you hear the message, but the message scares the shit out of you. And somewhere in the middle, we got this little group that says, I ain't scared and I know what it is, let's go. But the idea is for everybody that actually accepts the teaching to go. I heard somebody say, you sound like a cult. It sounds like your ass just got here. Then you heard somebody say, well, what are they trying to do over there? You know, are they a marauding bunch? You see, what you fail to realize is that we are warriors, and we are leaders, and we are teachers. We're not trying to be any of them. They all go hand in hand. The very same people that can sit here and watch me rightly divide the word and do expositional teaching on the first book of Enoch with Yahweh's name restored, and the book of Yasher and the book of Jubilee, and then break down the numerical systems inside of the Torah. Those very same people can see me strap up and grab a pistol and a knife and put on my war paint and go outside and get it in like I'm Shaka Zulu, and then come back and sit down and mentor to the little children so that they have a blueprint to grow up and become strong people. See, you're all of those things wrapped into one. And you manifest according to the situation. That's what Ecclesiastes said. There's a time and a place for everything. And a lot of y'all problem is y'all trying to be the same person everywhere. Like, for instance, you can be peaceful and demonstrate peacefully and state your point in the courtroom. You can do that on the steps of the city hall, but you can't do that in the battlefield. You got to turn into something else. You got to let all that go for a second and say, that ain't working. Now we got to get it in like this. Now it's Bactine and Band-Aids. It's Vaseline and hold my stuff. Then you go back to being something else. So someone asked me, they said, well, you know, I understand what y'all saying about y'all against spiritual wars and this, that, and the third. But what I don't understand is, well, a lot of us are doing other things to try to alleviate the pain of being here. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. It says in 99:7, and those who worship stones and who carve images of gold and of silver and of wood and of clay, and those who worship evil spirits and demons and all kinds of idols, not according to the knowledge, they shall get no help from me. I didn't say that. That's what the Most High said. So if you out here, oh, I need to get a crystal. Oh, let's do this. You don't realize that what you're doing is something that was taught to you, that you was never supposed to do, and that he tells you specifically not to do it. And it says you're going to be doing it in the last days. See, people keep telling you, man, we know we in the last days. And somebody say, show me the proof of the last days. Look at you. You walking proof. It says in 99:10, in those days, blessed are they who accept the words of wisdom and understand them, to follow the path of Yahweh to the Most High. They shall walk in the path of his righteousness and not become wicked with the wicked, and they shall be saved. It don't mean be saved like they're telling you, oh, we're going to fall out. Oh, Lord, I found the Holy Spirit. No, stop all that. That's that slave master church act. Now, we ain't talking about that. We're talking about when the final judgment comes, when they lift you up from Sheol. That's what we're talking about. Then you'll be saved, because you'll be judged on everything that you've done and what you came from your heart. That's when you'll be saved. Constantine flipped the script on y'all and got y'all thinking, all I have to do is accept with my mouth and everything will be okay. And then shit just keeps on happening. Does that make sense to you? You think you serve a God of disorder like that? That don't make no sense, not even in the book. But I digress, because some of y'all, that's steak and eggs, and some of y'all still on milk and cereal. So, you know, you can't take that tough kind of teaching. You get all bent out of shape and think I'm challenging your theology, when the truth of the matter is you've been lied to. The religion that you practice was beat into your ancestors. They beat them to death to make them believe it. They put people on the rack. They stretched people. They burned people. They dipped them in acid, boiled them in oil, did all kind of stuff to make them believe. That's why they told you, because they didn't want to see your ass boiled in oil. They didn't want to see you drawn and quartered. They didn't want to see you be beheaded, because you wouldn't believe. So they said, we'll make sure you believe this. And now it's gotten handed down. And you can't pay some of y'all to wake up from that brainwash. But I remember I shattered that on so many occasions that some people can't even come back here no more. When I shattered the difference between the Ankh and the cross for y'all and showed you what was really true, that blew your mind. When I showed you that you don't pray out loud because it says so in the scripture, that you pray with your spirit quietly, and that you yelling out loud ain't got nothing to do with it. When I showed you that smashed your theology. And then when I came back and showed you that it says right there in the book that he gave you the power to overcome your oppressors, he told you to do it. But y'all still sitting around waiting for some great voice in the sky to come floating down like, oh, you, because you learned something that's going to save you. You don't even realize how silly that shit sound when I say it back to myself. But y'all don't want to listen to me. Y'all too busy worshiping Christ, meaning Yeshua transformed. You only been a person for 56 years. You've only been off the plantation for 155 years. And you were destroyed for 246 years in the United States. And you were enslaved for 400 years worldwide. And you have just begun to respond as a people. And they trying to do everything in their power to stop y'all from doing it. Don't feel bad. It wasn't the white folks that did it first. They're not the only ones trying to stop y'all from shining. The Muslims and the Arabs enslaved you first. Then the white people enslaved you next. The Arabs enslaved you for 13 centuries. But y'all don't know nothing about that because they keep it real quiet and on the low. They don't want you to know nothing about that. In other words, they want y'all to keep going along with this program of continued colonization of the black community. You know, they call it gentrification. They saying that's what happened to Breonna. They want this infusion into the black community so that they dilute the community so it's no longer yours. They don't want to talk about your PTSD, your post-traumatic slave disorder. They want you to keep walking calmly into the vaccination of the race extermination that they are preparing for you. Integration does not equal equality. Integration means come on board and play your position while I sit in a superior one. We can't move forward because we got too much. We got too much ignorance. We're too comfortable. We got too much self-hatred. We got too much white blood in us. We got too much. But you know something? Now that I've said that, let me give you the bright side. We got to start somewhere, and we have. The conversations have gone beyond conversations. This is a great day to be alive and be a black person, or it's an Oreo's worst nightmare. This is the day that they did not want to see. This is not the, listen, here's what's really crazy. Y'all don't seem to get it, and I don't know why they act like this is so delusional. White people picked up where they was at. So they say, got in a boat and came over here because they didn't want to be with the other motherfuckers over there. But for us to say we want to pick up and leave, and I don't know who said this in the press. I ain't never say shit about no goddamn boat and that we was going to make the government pay for shit. We don't want anything from y'all that you're not going to pay to us later anyway. We're talking about taking our own money, our own resources, and defending our own selves in any way we can to exodus this place. In an organized fashion, provided you don't do nothing stupid and trigger a war with us. That's exactly where this is going. And a lot of people are, well, that sound like this. So I don't give a damn what you think it sound like. But right now, anything is better than staying here. Because y'all ain't doing shit to make it no better for us. There's this, and you always hear these white folks talking about, well, we're your allies. Really? Then change some laws then. Since you allying with us, go ahead and redistribute the money you got with us. You know, you allies with us, right? You allies. Go on ahead and give us some of the breaks on some of the things y'all got with some of these programs y'all got that's helping y'all, like the homestead program. Help us out. And then maybe, you know, we can consider y'all some allies. But we don't need nobody to step in and help us organize our own shit. We don't need nobody to step in and put a face on something. Like, if they don't want to talk to us, then they don't want to talk to us. We tired of all this compromise all the time. You gonna get everybody killed. No, you gonna get yourself killed by the police, by the prison system, by the water they feed, by the water you drinking, by the food they feeding you, by the dumbass shit that they tell you that you believe, by the medicine they sticking in your bodies. You just want to die a comfortable death instead of standing up for your damn people and we go make shit right. Look, it ain't gonna be perfect at first. Everybody know that. But you know what scares a lot of people? They really sitting back saying, suppose he right. Yeah, suppose I'm right. And you wrong. And you stay here after we're gone. It'd be great if we could leave some of y'all behind to become our allies that we could trade with and so forth. That maybe once enough of us leave and get our own country, they can get upset when something happens to one of y'all over here. That we can go to the UN and say, why are you doing this to our descendant, our citizen? Why, you know, once something like that happens, that would be great. But I have a strange feeling that the ones of y'all that want to stay behind, that ain't going to be your attitude. You're going to have that same old Jim Crow, Willie Lynch, backstabbing, crabs in a barrel mentality of, well, if they going, nobody can go. Everybody just tearing families apart. It's ridiculous. We need help from the United States. You can't let this happen. And then y'all wonder where that statement came from, that if something like that happens, we right back what I said before. Y'all don't want to admit to that shit. If we try to leave this place in an orderly fashion just so we can go and determine our own destiny, then we have to fight some of our own damn people. And y'all don't want to admit that. That's what they had to do in Haiti. We hope we don't. We hope that everybody will be, you know, hey, if that's what y'all want to do, we wish y'all the best. Don't forget to write. You know, we always got shit for sale over here. Holler at your boy. We wish it would be like that. But if you study the master plan in the destruction of the black civilization by Chancellor Williams, if you go and study it, and I know some of y'all went and got the book, if you study the master plan, remember the first thing he talks about is taking off the psychological chains, the 6 chains that are on your mind right now that's holding you back. That's the first thing he talks about. That's the purpose of me talking to you like this. That's the purpose of me continuously pointing these things out so that you can start to think, you know what, that don't feel right. Let me take that off. You understand what I'm saying to you? That's why everybody, he told me that once before. You can't walk this away. We don't need you to agree with us. Actions speak louder than words. Listen, y'all don't need it. I mean, y'all keep on doing what you're doing. But my question to you is, what is your agenda? What is your goal? Stop saying something that you really don't mean. Stop threatening something you're never going to follow through on, because they're not changing anything based on that. But they ready to change right now. They ready to talk right now. They ready to throw some money at it right now. They ready to do anything but let you pack up ship and roll up out of here and let them have this raggedy motherfucker to themselves. Think about that. If all of us were to pick up and leave from here, don't y'all know that we would automatically become one of the wealthiest countries on earth? Y'all don't even see that because you become so comfortable in master's house. This is mine. I'm staying. Okay, you keep your ass right here then. Ain't nobody begging you to go nowhere. I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. And until somebody came along who was going to sit here and be bold enough to say what need to be said instead of everybody mumbling this shit behind closed doors and putting it in documents, but don't make it available to the average person so that we can do something about it, then we don't want to hear what you got to say right now. And another thing, until you decide to show me some action, stop talking about the action that's already been taken. Whether we ragtag or we superficial, whether we the best thing that ever walked or we crawling on the ground, at least we doing something while your ass is doing nothing but standing on the sidelines running your goddamn mouth. And I mean that on behalf of every member of the NFAC. We sick of y'all running y'all damn mouth, but ain't gonna be there the next time I call a formation for real. What does it mean to be a warrior? A warrior is a human being who accepts the call and walks the long, arduous path of becoming one's full potential. What is a warrior? A warrior is a human being who understands and explores all the world views, all religions, all cultures, all histories, and all legacies of wisdom to understand fully what he or she is as a human being. What is a warrior? A warrior knows what he or she must contribute. He or she leaves generations to come with a strong, universal, and life-affirming foundation. What is a warrior? A warrior is someone who explores the inner world and the external world, integrating the both of them together. What is a warrior? A warrior is someone who focuses on what he or she is as a human being, not who they are as a human being. What is a warrior? A warrior takes external perspective. A warrior is someone who loves and as fully as possible. A warrior is someone who understands their needs and is fearless in telling others what they are, even at the risk of being vulnerable. I have no problem telling y'all the truth, and you can attack me all you want, but you can shoot the messenger, but there's no way you can put a bullet in the message. I'm trying to talk to somebody in here. Somebody say, talk, black man. A warrior knows when to let silence speak. A warrior is fearless in living. A warrior knows their gifts and develops them throughout their lives. I'm going to stop right there because I can keep going on what the qualities of the warrior's creed that I'm reciting. That is the warrior's creed. See, there's a creed that you had to learn before you could run out to battle. These are the things that flash through your mind when it's bloodshed. No, we're not some ragtag group of people that want to go out and live on the edge of the woods and drink beer. No, we're not that. We're people, average people, who are willing to give their lives. And y'all have just total disrespect for that and these people. Y'all let other people ridicule them because they make mistakes. Y'all come out there talking about these people. These people put their lives on the line. And y'all just, and that is the, y'all talk about, I support the troops. You do, but you don't support the black man. You don't support the black woman. Not at all. You ridicule people that are willing to die for your raggedy ass, and you ain't nowhere to be around to be found. Think about that. That's really what a warrior does. A warrior aligns to virtues, values, and purposes, not to human beings. A warrior loves turbulence. A warrior is a scholar of living. The body becomes an instrument of consciousness. A warrior lives the path of mastery, and mastery is never attained, and it's always unfolding, so the quest never ends. A warrior speaks the truth. A warrior loves and lives in paradoxes and chaos and conflict. I can keep going. That is what a warrior is. So the question is, are the members of the NFAC warriors? Well, the definition of a warrior is a soldier. So I would call them warriors. And then somebody says, well, what are you supposed to be, a ruler? No, I'm not a ruler. Because if you have to ask me that question, you don't know what a ruler is. But if you did know the definition, you might not ask me that question. You see, a ruler is the most precious gift of nature and time to out mankind in the history of the world. And we get to know about many rulers who have come and ruled the world. But a lot of people don't understand that there are 10 great qualities in order to make you a ruler if you study them. First of all, he's a great observer. Second of all, he's a great thinker. Third of all, they think positive and they always keep trying. Fourth, they respect the thoughts of others. 5, they believe in teamwork and give credit to all. 6, they never lie unnecessarily. Notice they put the word unnecessarily. 7, they deal all situations tactfully. Number 8, they have the courage to speak truth and question anyone. That means you always question authority. Number 9, they know the value of time. And most importantly, number 10, they respect humanity. Those are the qualities of a ruler. And the others are the qualities of a warrior. Can you be both? Yes. Do you have to try? Not if he's giving you the gifts already. See, a lot of us we got our gifts in the wrong place. Some of y'all got gifts that you don't even know that you have because you're in the wrong place. It's kind of like somebody that has the gift of administration. They can just organize things, get things flowing, get everybody doing what they're supposed to do, but their ass is up in the choir and can't sing a pound. They in the wrong place. Singing is not your gift. Your gift is in the goddamn office. Meanwhile, the girl in the office who has the gift of singing don't know what the hell she doing, got the office all screwed up. We can't find shit, but she can sing her ass off. You need to be in the choir. You understand what I'm saying? You can be in the wrong place with your gift. And only you know what your gift really is, whatever your passion is, whatever it is that you can do, that you love to do, that even if you got paid, you'd be like, shit, I like to do this anyway. That's your gift. And we talking about building a nation. Everybody got gifts. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I got to find a job. No, jobs are what they give you when you are working on someone else's dream. I just gave y'all a free one. Jobs are tasks on someone else's dream. I guarantee you, whatever job you work at, the person that owns the place, they're not there. You're working on their dream. They somewhere on a boat, on a yacht somewhere, tossing it up, smoking up a good one, having whatever they doing, enjoying the sun, while your ass is over here talking about, I got a goddamn headache. I get off at 4. A job is not what you want. It's when I come to this new place, because it says in the master plan that every enterprise within the new economy is self-owned, but it generates wealth that goes back into the economy. So you own your own business. You decide what kind of business you're going to have because you know what you like to do. Now, if you like to do some shit that you can't do by yourself, you find some like-minded people like you and y'all form a company. Remember, see, that's what a company is, the company you keep. You go out and find, if you know how to make bricks and he know how to make bricks and you know how to make bricks, y'all the brick company. And what do you know how to do over here? So you know how to make bread and you know how to make bread and y'all the bread company. What do you know how? You say everybody get together with what you need to do. Don't y'all get this? That's your gift. But don't have your gift in the wrong place. You sitting at your job right now saying, this is not what I want to be doing. This is not what I like to be doing. This shit right here got to change. Then that's what you start thinking about. What would that look like in a business model? Now, as far as being a leader or a warrior or a ruler, there's a difference. A leader, yes. Ruler, no. A ruler means that they impose their will upon the people. A leader simply takes the people where the people want to go. There's a difference. So I had to break those qualities out because I heard a statement in the media where they were talking about us, and they was and it was a good article, but they were kind of afraid. It's funny to watch white people try to report some shit and not say the wrong thing. I have to give them credit. They picked their words very, very carefully. They said they were talking about America's black militia, and they made sure they stayed away from anything that would insult us. That's my word for tonight. I wanted to let y'all know, Factz Ova Feelingz, the last few sessions here on the gram. Y'all know we about to roll up out of here. I told y'all I am leaving this platform. They censor us too much. They don't give out alerts. And on top of that, we don't know who all's coming to the party. So therefore, I will be giving you information here shortly before we announce what we're about to do about Louisville, because that's coming up. I do want to thank all of you all who came out and had a chance to see us in Louisville. We look forward to seeing you again, and to all of our constituents around the globe that are members of the NFAC coalition now. Once again, I send a massive salute out to you. And at the same time, I want to let all of my folks here know that no matter what you do, no matter how it all goes down, just remember one thing. Oh, wait a minute. Did y'all see the shirts that they gave us? Hold on. Where the shirts at, bro? Hold on. Where the shirt? Give me the shirt. Give me the shirt. I need the shirt. Where the shirt at? Yeah. Hold on. Y'all seen this? Y'all know y'all seen this shirt. See these? These are the new shirts. You see this? See that? Check that out. Now. We got a few seconds left. Those shirts are not for sale yet. Those shirts will be given away to some folks. Hit me in my inbox. Tell me a good reason why you need one, and we'll go ahead and hook you up. In the meantime, y'all know this is Factz Ova Feelingz. It's been great hanging out with you. Don't forget to catch me the Morning Mental. We got to get it back, y'all. We got to get back in step. In the meantime, in the between time, I'm Grandmaster Jay, and I'll see y'all soon.